I just left simply because in the US there was more opportunity. And truly, up until this day, and I've been to 59 countries, the United States is still the greatest country in the world, hands down.
I personally don't like the left and the right and the Republican Democrat and the libertarian, the socialist, the communist. Like, it's just like all these labels that nothing really neatly fits in there. And I thought Milei actually called this out pretty well in one of the speeches where I saw he said he talked about, the left is socialist and the right is fascist. He said, but they're all collectivist. They're all collectivists. So in my book, The Uncommunist Manifesto, shameless plug again, I talk about we actually draw a diagram of how all politics is on one side, and on that there's a spectrum from left to right, socialist to fascist. But socialism and fascist, although are on extreme opposite ends, apparently, are all central planners and collectivist ideas. So all politics...
But isn't Bitcoin a collectivist idea at the same time?
No, Bitcoin is the exact opposite.
But it has to work. You have to have a collective unit of people for it to work.
Well, what I'm talking about collectivist is central planning.
Okay.
So somebody is planning the system versus what we said, and I have a diagram, I'll get you a book when we're done here. On the other side is capitalism is natural, emergent, it's individualism, and Bitcoin fits over there. And so you have sort of, and Milei called this out. He said, look, all this, you're left wing, you're socialist, you're right wing, you're fascist. He said, it's all collectivist. He said, we're bringing back the individual. There is no state. And so Frederick Bastiat in The Law talks about this. There is no state. There's no such thing as a state. There's us as you and I as individuals, and collectively we could agree to have this town or whatever, this country. And so I thought it was a pretty good statement.
At a theoretical level, yes, it's cool, but you still have billions of debt that you have to pay Milei. Like, cool, that sounds nice. Okay, you still have to go and sit down with the IMF.
And you would rather him default on that?
I don't know, because I don't really know what the best solution would be. I think the best course of action right now, at least for Argentina, is the privatization of national assets. There's no reason why the government should run anything.
Yeah,
there's shit at everything,
and that seems like what he's trying to do.
Yes, and that's great.
Right.
The question is, who do you sell it to?
The highest bidder.
And who's the highest bidder? It's most likely all under the table. Yeah, it's
Blackstone.
all under the table nationalization companies that come in and they literally go. There's a book called Confessions of
Economic Hitman.
Of an economic hitman. He talks about the jackals. They come in and they give you an offer, and if you don't take the offer, so be it. At the end of the day, you have a guy that comes from a third party, not left wing, right wing, a third party. Somebody has to fund that party. 45% of Argentines don't just vote for you because you have a message. There's narratives, there's pushed, and because you see it in anywhere around the world, in order for a message to be propagated, it doesn't just naturally catch on. You have to push a message. And I think from alternatives, definitely the best alternative.
But do you think there's sort of a zeitgeist at the time? So for example, the pendulum, I think the pendulum doesn't swing from left to right. I think the pendulum swings from centralization to decentralization. And I think it's technology that does that, and that's a whole different conversation. But if we look at the pendulum from that viewpoint, just for this exercise, and you see this pendulum has been swinging towards centralization. So we have the creation of the UN and the IMF and the BIS and, this global US-led homogeny, et cetera. But then we have, it's gone so far, and now there's no truth, and men and women and boys are girls and all these things. And it's gone so far that people are rejecting that. And you're seeing the Jordan Petersons and the Andrew Tates rising up in the face of that. People are starting to latch onto that. And it seems like Meloni over in Italy, and Milei is just one more person. And it seems like the whole world has been gaslit so hard, and they've been told for so long that they don't matter, that they're latching onto that type of a person.
Yeah, it's the opposite of what you're already given. So it's not an extreme. It's just an extreme of that position. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's just a natural pendulum swing. But remember, it's the pendulum swing of technology. We're talking about technological freedom. As soon as that technology gets suppressed or controlled, you have censorship. You want decentralization. You need new technology that overtakes the centralization. So you have centralization in the Federal Reserve and the banking system. You need Bitcoin. You have the centralization of the radio over the television. You need the internet. Yeah. So you have these pendulum swings. Now the objective is figuring out, because of Moore's law, these pendulum swings get slower and they get faster and faster and faster, and they go back and forth, freedom, censorship, to the point where, per the words of Ilya, co-founder of OpenAI, he said AI has the ability to create in perpetuity stable dictatorships. And that's the freaky point where I'm like,
that's the scary point.
That's the scary point.
And he's true. I agree with him.
He's right, bro. He's right.
But I don't like that.
I don't like it at all. But I'm like, okay, these are the freedom pockets, decentralized, decentralized, centralized, decentralized. We need to be capitalizing on these decentralized pockets before it goes back to, it doesn't matter how much Bitcoin you had. If it doesn't matter how, when COVID locked down, that shit locked down. Most people were fucked. That's just the situation that people were in. I don't care if you believed in it or you didn't believe in it. Your business, if it was a physical business, was closed down. Whether you got jabbed, wore a mask, didn't like it, that was the outcome that was naturally happening. But then you had the ability to make money online. That was a pendulum swing. That was your freedom pocket. Dude, the amount of money people made during COVID online was crazy.
Yeah.
But the people, physical, brick and mortar, nope. And now the pendulum swing of, things open back up. A ton of businesses started making a ton of money in person. So you have these pendulum swings of censorship, decentralization, and it's capitalizing on these pockets prior to being in a situation where you end up like China, where now everything's credit controlled systems. Everything's WeChat, everything's Face ID. Your Tesla needs to be under a certain credit score connected to your ID in order for you to charge the fucking vehicle.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely insane. So I don't know if Elon Musk using the X app now that has over 50, it has all 50 states the ability to remit money. I don't know if he's going to create a super bank with X. That's my opinion. That's what I think he's going to do.
Yeah.
But what happens when X becomes the WeChat, the WeChat of North America? Now you have the censorship that you're kind of going to be fucked up on because you have the head of technology that's always at the cusp of everything. So you have this guy that runs your vehicle. So he has probably the best understanding of transport. He has satellites that are shot into space. He owns the AI that gets plugged into your brain. He owns this rocket ships. He owns the AI, and he owns the social media platform that feeds the AI. All he has to do is control a couple of things, and shit gets really, really intense really fast.
It's very scary.
So the goal is, before these things get introduced, which are obvious, look at Skynet in China, it's coming. How can you create and utilize these pockets of decentralized wealth creation to not have to face the reality of living in these states?
So how can you?
I think building digital businesses outside of a specific ecosystem that is like Instagram or Facebook, if you're limited to like one social platform or one specific avenue, it can be extremely difficult. Number two is you need something that is low risk, high reward. And usually that comes from service-based businesses. So when you have to expend your life force energy to receive money. So your only expense, if you don't have a lot of money, is your time and your energy, which isn't worth much because you can't produce much. So I think digital businesses, something that is scalable. I think physical business, service-based businesses, something that is low risk, high reward, that doesn't take a lot of startup costs. And you need to build an AI-proof business. I met with one of the founders of OpenAI a couple years ago.
AI-proof business or use AI?
Use AI, yes, but so what the AI boom took place, you had a couple businesses. You had the AI businesses that emerged, and you had, let's use AI to beef up our business. When I met with this guy a couple years ago, he said, he's like, yeah, AI is just a lot of things. What you need to figure out is, what can AI never replace? Or what is the hardest thing or the hardest moat for AI to replace? So that's what you're going to build your business on. It's the hardest moat that AI can not bypass, which is what? Community, personal development, the things that AI can't do for you.
Physical things.
The things that AI can't do for you. So I shifted Capital Club, I shifted all my businesses to turn them not as AI companies, but as AI-proof companies. My companies aren't crypto companies. My companies are crypto-friendly companies. So it's like, as the narratives emerge and as the narratives change, because I don't make any irreversible decisions, I'm able to pivot.
Digital businesses, low risk, high reward, which are basically service-based businesses because you're just contributing your time and labor. Low risk because you don't have to put up capital, so you can bootstrap them. I agree with all that. AI proof, I mean, sure, you have the physical, or you could use AI. I mean, you could look at I think trying to become a lawyer or a doctor today, like,
if you're starting your career now,
yeah, right, and then you're gonna go to college. I'm gonna go to college and be a doctor or a lawyer. Like, man, that's probably gonna be replaced.
That the difficulty here is the fact that you're competing against an institutionalized establishment that not only has proven its inaccuracy and invalidity to be an institution, like these big universities, Harvard, Yale, all these things. All we have to do, dude, is let's take every single one of the presidents, CEOs of all these top universities, run all of their papers, every single paper, essay, video conference, every single presentation, keynote that they've ever done, and let's find plagiarism. Let's find plagiarism in their work.
Yeah.
And we discredit half of the fucking universities automatically off rip.
Yeah.
Not only that, But we also have to understand that the universities today are political weapons.
Yeah.
They're not educational institutions. They are political, dogmatic, government-controlled ecosystems. So when your entire narrative is you're the age of 8 and your fucking first grade teacher asks you, what is your dream job? Not what do you want in life? Hey, how was your day with your parents? Go respect your mom and your dad. No, what is your dream job? The moment you're born, you're fucking curated into the system.
Yeah. And
unless you unplug and wake up and realize that they're treading on you, you're not going to tell them, don't tread on me, motherfucker. Yeah. So you need to have this enlightenment, this wake up reality check, dude.
Yeah. Nobody was, I want to start my own online digital community wasn't on my bingo card. My little brother sells Pokemon cards online and makes good money. Like that wasn't on the choice, right? So to your point, I love all that. So let's go ahead and close it out here. So what's the advice? You said you can see the future, or you see future trends. I don't want to say you can predict the future, but you see these future trends. So you've already kind of laid that out. So frame it up for us one more time, kind of close it out, and give us some
let's frame it out.
Thoughts.
Let's frame it out specifically. I actually wrote a Medium article where I think I posted it January 1st, where I posted my predictions for 2024. So I created an article in 3 specific niches: your commerce niche, your markets, your money and markets niche, and then you're going to have your crypto, which I think are going to be the 3 overlining narratives of 2024. So let me go ahead and pull this up.
Yeah.
Through my 8 months of research for 2024, I kind of put this into perspective. So you can just type up 2024 Luke Belmar predictions. It's a 2-minute read.
We'll link it in the show notes too.
In the beginning, we have e-commerce. So these are trends for 2024. The first one is e-commerce. Direct to consumer brands begin to receive a new wave of funding in private equity investments. So if you look at 2021, 2022, private equity, when it comes to e-commerce, tanked completely. I see another resurgence of investments into IP and into brand in the e-commerce niches. So for all these drop shippers, all these white labelers, begin to understand that there's going to be businesses that are going to be buying business, which I think they're going to be good to talk to you to get well positioned. Next is info products will begin to legitimize themselves and directly compete with universities and learning institutions. So now why would I listen to this professor that's never been overseas about international business when I can go and sit down with somebody that has international business experience and just listen to them on YouTube?
Yeah.
So now you have e-learning, which has been like almost any phase of new technological advancement, usually gets capitalized and captured by low interest and more predatory individuals. So you look at 2017, 2015, 2014 crypto, it was more scammy, right? Because it's brand new, there isn't real shit built on it. It's the same thing with info products and e-learning. The first people on the initial wave was the people that could milk the money off. But today you have real learning institutions online that are competing with the best of the best.
Yeah.
I see this as a trend in 2024. Next is political themed e-commerce and drop shipping. So in all 2024,
because it's an election year?
Yes, massive. I made a ton of money selling a Donald Trump coin last election. So it was just a coin that had Donald Trump's profile face, and it was your memorabilia token, and people bought a ton of it. I think these do extremely well.
Shout out to my radio show sponsor, Universal Coin and Bullion. They make a special Donald Trump gold coin. So if you want to get actual gold coin, check out Universal Coin and Bullion.
So it's not that drop shipping coin.
Yeah, it's actual real one.
Next, you have dominant influencers continue to build, scale, and sell IRL businesses. So now you're going to begin to see influencers, the likes of Mr. Beast and the likes of Luke Belmar, be in a situation whereby you're building collateral businesses like the Nile River that we were talking about as proxy small empires around your traffic source. So I see a lot of content creators now no longer doing merch, these simple kind of basic 101s of commerce, but utilizing their audiences and building real products so that now you can translate loyalty from here to loyalty here. And once you have loyalty on the product, you can sell that company.
Yeah, I love that.
Next is health, longevity, and wellness becomes a top white hat monthly recurring revenue e-commerce niche. So I think it was Universal Talent Agency or Universal Talent Management that manages all the top guys. Gary Brecka told me this. He said they did a massive report as to what are the emerging trends and niches, and biohacking, longevity, health and wellness, and anti-aging were at the top over any other category in all of commerce. So I see that becoming super powerful.